Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is, I really don't know how you're going to feel. Because a Republican, Senator Jodi Earnst particularly, comes out and is now lambasting the ATF for their knock and demanding of information about 2 years after it happened. And also after, I just got to say, she signed this, she voted for the Senate Safer Communities Act, which only further emboldened the ATF. But other than that, okie dokie. Everything will be linked into the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And the content today is brought to you by American Heart for Gold. I sat down with the CEO just to talk about the gold and its place in the modern economy. And I want to show you a brief snippet of that conversation. And then we're going to get this, and the link is in the description box below. Is it still pertinent today? Because a lot of the tendency of people is to go, well, that's an older thing. We have modern ways to make money and invest. So what's the pitch to keep gold still relevant in a modern society?
Sure. Great question. And when you look at the money that we're printing and the rate that we're printing it right now, it's really just a hedge against fiat currency. It's a hedge against the dollar. Government spending's been a runaway freight train lately, and you probably notice when you go out to buy things right now, your dollar's just been kind of whittled down to nothing, and the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. And so it's just a hedge against currency. You see central banks buying it up left and right. They're buying it at the fastest rate in 50 years right now, do as the central banks are doing. But it's just a hedge, just an insurance policy that people use against what's going on with the devaluing of these currencies.
All right, beautiful people. Listen, I don't even know if this counts as better late than never. I honestly don't. I mean, you tell me in the comments. All right, let's get it. So, a GOP senator rips Biden's gun-grabbing DOJ for taking nearly 2 years to answer for controversial policy. Senator Jodi Earnst, Republican of Iowa, first wrote the ATF in 2022 demanding answers on its knock-and-talk policy. Okay, I'm going to be honest, guys. If I tell you that I'm going to do something as the host of this show and you as the viewer, and it takes me 2 years to follow up on it, I don't know. That might not be a good look. And hypothetically, if I'm a senator, it kind of makes you look weak and dumb, particularly after you signed and voted for the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which again, as I mentioned in the introduction, emboldened the ATF to now lump every 18, 19, and 20-year-old United States adult to a mandatory waiting period of 10 days, regardless of criminal activity across the board. Did some of the red flag laws, which, by the way, take your guns without warrants. That's going to make an appearance here in a second because she's very upset about the idea that warrants aren't being used. I know. Let's get it. One Republican lawmaker is pulling no punches going after President Biden's gun-grabbing DOJ after it took nearly 2 years to respond to her questions about the ATF's knock and talk. So this is responding to a video where ATF agents were knocking on people's doors and asking to see their guns, and there were no warrants, and the internet blew up with these videos, and she wrote a letter. But don't worry, guys, she didn't get an answer for 2 years, and an election year rolls around, and now it's I demand answers. Senator Jodi Earnst, Republican Iowa, first wrote to the ATF in August of 2022 demanding it answer for its methods in cracking down on firearm straw purchases, the illegal practice of an individual purchasing a firearm on behalf of someone else. That she worried could be infringing on Americans' rights. In her letter, she stated that while enforcing laws against straw purchasing firearms is important, the DOJ must be clear about its methods. Quote, "For nearly 2 years, Biden's ATF has failed to answer my questions. Instead, they are continually harassing law-abiding gun owners in their homes," Earnst told Fox News Digital. "Biden's ATF knock-and-talk policy is unlawful, and by stonewalling me, they continue to hide the truth, pointing the finger at so-called violence without addressing the law-abiding Americans that I clearly asked about." Okay. When she wrote this first letter, and since time has elapsed, she is genuinely one of the Republicans who signed on to the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Biden's only gun control achievement on record was because she was one of the 15 Republicans that voted for it. I'm going to call her out for exactly what it is. She's punching a real big game of the gun-grabbing DOJ and the gun-grabbing blaming on violence, whatever buzzword she wants to say here. And I'm glad she's saying it. Don't get me wrong, but she's not going to escape a little bit of ire from me when you've got 2 years of being ignored And then the exact same year that gun control law becomes law, you just keep on rolling. Yeah, I voted for it, no big deal. We're bordering on rhino. I'm picking up a Hinto horn right now. Anyway, let's keep going. Biden's ATF must stop bending the law to fit their gun-grabbing policies, she added. Ernst sent her 2022 letter just 1 month after the ATF began its straw purchasing crackdown. In it, she detailed reports and videos that had surfaced showing ATF agents engaging in such investigations. Ernst noted that those interactions involved ATF agents knocking on the front doors of private residences and asking residents to display the recently purchased firearms to prove they did not commit a straw purchase. In all of the knock-and-talk incidents brought to my attention, none involved the presentation of a warrant, Ernst wrote. That's because none of them had warrants. Why are you complaining about this right now, 2 years after they ignored your butt as a sitting senator in the United States Senate? What? Now, the one shining light, the really silver lining here, is you and I spreading out this information and making sure they have the opportunity to see it and write a letter and then get ignored for 2 years. Well, that wouldn't have happened if we didn't share the video out. So if we're going to go silver lining on this, at least we know we're being effective and we're spreading out information across the board. But 2 years of being ignored and now you want to raise hell? Okay, well, let's just go. Because, by the way, there was still no warrant. And ironically, in the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, there's also no warrants in red flag laws. Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, Ernst said ATF agents often arrive at the house in full gear wearing bulletproof vests and do not inform residents at the homes that producing the firearm was optional. The combination of these factors calls into question whether the ATF's actions are meant to harass or coerce firearm purchasers into, at best, legally questionable investigations, she stated. You got ignored for 2 years, and this is what you come up with? I can think of 4 channels on the gun side of the spectrum on YouTube alone that came up with these questions literally within 5 minutes of these videos coming out as it was spread like wildfire across the internet. It takes you 2 years of getting ignored, and then your big concern is warrants. And you voted for the very bill that provides funding and what I would constitute as bribery for states to take federal money to enable red flag laws, which have no warrants. Come on now. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.